But first, here's what that winter storm brought overnight. We started with the wind and lots of it. This is video from downtown as the rain pushes its way across the state this morning. We even saw some snow flurries outside our station early this morning. The west side already seeing snow, and this is only the beginning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Crystal Gutierrez.
And I'm Adam Atchison. It's Friday, January 30th. Top story, winter weather, wind, rain, snow, as you mentioned, already falling in the metro. It's caused some school delays and closures, too. I want you to know those are scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. They will be during the breaks. We've got them online at krqe.com, so you're covered.
We have team coverage on this morning. Catherine Mazzone is live near Paseo and Unser in northwest Albuquerque. But first, let's get right to Kristen Curry in the Weather Center. She's been tracking the winter storm all morning long. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, guys. This is what radar looks like as of the last couple of hours. Looping, you could see it's pushing from the southwest towards the northeast, but these showers really not moving anywhere. So we're seeing good rain and snow out of these showers this morning. Let's start to the south to show you most of what the Silver City area is looking at. Las Cruces, anywhere from about Socorro to Las Cruces. This is just moderate to sometimes heavy rain. Higher elevations of the Gila looking more at snow than rain, and even that's the same situation when we bring it up to the north. Now, metro area, it's a rain-snow mix right now, but once you get further to the north into the Jemez Mountains, up to the Northwest Plateau, and even those Sangre de Cristo Mountains, including Santa Fe at that, this is snow that we're talking about. And the way it's falling, I am thinking we could see some significant accumulation, especially out in the grassy areas. When we bring it closer to the city, valley floor, rain snow mix, not a lot of snow at that. But once you get up on the West Mesa and into the Rio Rancho area, we're actually seeing snow instead of the rain at this hour. So accumulations on your car, on the landscape, sidewalk, yes. Now on the roads, relative to the air, we're actually fairly warm on the road. So it should not be icy just yet. Slippery, yes, but an ice rink, no. And once you get up into the foothills, that's when we're seeing snow as well. Current temperatures you can see here in the city, we're actually still above freezing, which helps the valley floor. 35 degrees right now, but much colder up to the northern mountains and really to the south. This is why you're seeing rain. TRC, Alamogordo, good 10 degrees above that freezing point as we speak. And as far as the winter watches and the warnings go, the pink is a winter storm warning where we do expect significant accumulation. The purple, an advisory. And these don't go away until tomorrow. So we are in for a very soggy 48 hours. I'm not only going to break down of what we're looking at this morning, but I'll also have what you can expect heading into this afternoon and also for the beginning of your weekend. That coming up here in just a bit.
As to be expected, there are some school closures and delays this morning. APS East Mountain schools are on a 2-hour delay. There are several others scrolling all at the bottom of your screen. They will continue throughout the commercial breaks. You can also check them out over on our website, krqe.com. Rain is already coming down in the metro. Snow falling in northwest Albuquerque.
And that means wet roads, very wet roads. But is the snow actually sticking other than in maybe yards and on side of the road? News 13's Catherine Mazzone is checking out what it'll look like when you walk out the door this morning, maybe head to the office or to the school. Catherine?
Good morning, Adam. Now, as you said, there are flurries falling. There is snow, but you mentioned that it's falling on the landscape. It's sticking to the landscape, but it's not sticking to the roads. Kristen mentioned it's too warm, and the roads are too warm at this point. Traffic is still moving pretty freely, but you want to keep in mind that these flurries are coming down and it's breezy. So visibility is going to be reduced, and you want to take that into account. Even though the roads aren't icy, they're slick. Mix that with visibility issues, and you're gonna again want to be a little bit more cautious this morning. And even though you might not be waking up to snow or a rain and snow mix, keep in mind that this is expected to last all day. So you want to have a rain jacket or an umbrella on hand so that when it does hit, you're ready for it. Now take a look. The roads again are moving pretty well, but keep in mind, like I said, you'll want to take it a little bit easy today. Back to you in the studio.
What we're looking at right now, this is a different storm, and Catherine mentioned it. We're not seeing a lot sticking to the roads. Overall, we're relatively warm for a winter storm. What's different about this week and this storm compared to last week is we have plentiful moisture sitting on top of us. This storm placement is perfect for us. It's wrapping around that Pacific moisture, giving us the showers we need. And as far as the rain goes, this is what the models are thinking we're going to come up with by the end of the day tomorrow. Close to an inch of rain possible here in central New Mexico, if not more, down to the Gila Mountains. And for this time in January, we should not be looking at rain. It's usually more of a snow. So this is not your typical winter storm. Afternoon high temperatures today above the freezing mark. That's also a huge difference that will keep most of this rain. And in general, as far as the snow goes, this isn't a light powdery snow, not the pretty flakes that we're used to. Usually we have about an inch of rain turning into 20 inches of snow. The snow ratio is what we call this. Not today. It's really about 1 inch of liquid turning into about 10 inches of snow. So this is that wet snow that we're talking about. So a lot of changes going into today with this storm, but you can see it's definitely working. Whatever it's doing, we're looking at some good showers across the state. So when and how much snow, the heavy snow that is, where will we see that? I'm going to break that down for you coming up here probably in about 10 minutes.
And the same storm system making its way across our state hit Phoenix first yesterday. This as the city prepares for its grand Super Bowl 49 game that's this Sunday.
As the weather continues to progress.
And make sure to keep it here as we continue to follow this blast of winter weather all day long on air and of course online at KRQE.com and on our mobile app.
We'll move along to this at 6:07. School officials are investigating a teacher for taking bets on the Super Bowl. A concerned parent says a 6th grade teacher at Mountain Air Junior High was selling squares in town for $20 a piece. This type of gambling is against the law. Many people we spoke with in Mountain Air say they didn't know it was illegal. School officials are now looking into whether the teacher was gambling on school property and whether bets were offered to students.
I do know it's illegal, but I do also know it happens for Super Bowl. It's the thing to do, apparently. It's disappointing, but I mean, stuff happens, so. And I am aware teachers are human, too.
The school superintendent says he's called people he recognized from the pool, and they all insist they were not sold bets on school property.
We've learned that the APS board is now reprimanding a school board member accused of bullying an employee. Kathy Court sent emails to communications director Monica Armenta telling her she had no business to ask questions about her affiliation with Stand for Kids NM. That's a group that speaks out against a lot of governor-backed education reforms. The school board has sent Court a letter saying she violated the board's code of ethics and she could be disciplined by the board. If you would like to read the emails, we've put them online at KRQE.com.
Search for a robber at a Blake's Lotta Burger. Police say the man waved around a gun inside the restaurant and then fired off shots on San Antonio on Tuesday. You can see the gun sort of smoking there, him pointing it. He took off in a vehicle. Customer followed that car, and the man opened fire on the customer's car. Nobody was hurt in either incident. That man is considered to be dangerous, though, and if you have information, you recognize him, you're asked to call APD.
More bad press in a national magazine for APD. Rolling Stone magazine calls attention to officer-involved shootings in an article called When Cops Break Bad Inside a Police Force Gone Wild. Most of it centers around the death of James Boyd. It talks about how he was illegally camping in the foothills. That's a petty misdemeanor that drew what the magazine calls, quote, a spectacular circus with 40 officers, the SWAT team, the K-9 unit, and rope team. The 2 officers who shot him are now charged with murder. APD was also the focus of a scathing article in the New Yorker. 2 Santa Fe officers involved in an unjustified shooting will not be charged. In 2013, Officer Stephen Fonte and Officer John DeBaca spotted a stolen SUV and blocked it in. Roberto Mendez Ortega refused to get out. He put the car in reverse, then hit a patrol car heading straight toward the officers. Officer Fonte shot at the tires. Officer DeBaca shot into the SUV, shooting Mendez's face. Among those inside, a 4-year-old boy. Now, last year, a grand jury ruled the shooting unjustified. It was sent to Roswell's district attorney for review. She found the officers did what any reasonable person would do.
We are getting our first look at a lengthy audit of the 15 state-funded behavioral health providers. The state refused to release the audit, which it says showed $36 million in mishandled Medicaid funding. But The state attorney general did release it on Thursday. Hector Balderas is now investigating 12 of those healthcare providers to see if they were ripping off the state. You can read the full audit for yourself online, KRQE.com. And thank you. You know, we've been talking about it all morning. Snow already falling in the metro area, particularly on the west side.
Yeah, the big question this morning, is it sticking to the roads? We turn now to News 13's Catherine Mazzone actually is live out in Paseo and Unser. We're going to get to her a little bit later on in this newscast. But earlier we did see some video out there. This is video from Paseo and Unser where you can see snow is accumulating on the ground. Good news is that it's very wet, so it's not sticking to the ground. However, drivers, you do want to be cautious when you're heading out and about this morning, especially when you see conditions like this, because the roads are still slippery. They're not icy, but they are still slippery. We'll continue to track this winter storm all morning long as it develops. Once again, there are a number of school closures and delays. They're all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. They'll even continue throughout the commercial breaks. And don't forget to take pictures of what it looks like in your area this morning. Send them to us here at KRQE News 13. We may also post them over on the air and on social media. Just head to KRQE.com, click the Reported tab to submit.
Be sure to stay with KRQE News 13 today as we track the storm and stay on top of the closures and delays coming into our newsroom right now. We're following it all on air and online all day. Time is 6:34 this morning. A proposed state children's song about green chili is maybe singing a little different tune.
Green chili, green chili, everything is better with green chili.
A lawmaker heard about that song written by a Las Cruces teacher and wanted it to become the official state children's song. But yesterday, a committee voted 4-3 to table that bill altogether after hearing concerns the song left out red chili lovers and producers. Songwriter Melanie Wilson says she gets it.
If I had set out to write specifically a New Mexico children's state song, I probably could have been a little more broad in the topic, but I wrote the song for a third grade music performance and it needed to be about green chili.
So Wilson says the students are just excited the song went as far as it did. The Department of Cultural Affairs suggested to lawmakers the state hold a contest to come up with an official children's song.
As you send your kids off to school in the school bus every morning, you trust they will be safe. But what we found might startle you. We rode along with Rio Rancho on their school buses to see drivers ignoring the law. There's a real concern that a child could get hit, injured, possibly killed. Drivers are supposed to stop 10 feet away or more from the bus when it has its lights on and the stop arm out. We saw drivers zipping past the bus as the lights are on just as the stop sign comes out. But take a look at this. Another car completely ignores the signals altogether and cruises past the bus even as kids are nearby.
Kids aren't even done crossing the road yet. I still had a kid behind the bus crossing the road when she left.
It's very scary when someone comes rushing by at 30, 40 miles an hour while your red lights are going.
Absolutely scary. Bus drivers say they see the violators every single week. Police have to witness the violation, though, in order to cite a driver. You would like to see Kim Holland's complete special assignment. Tune in tonight at 9 on 2 Casa Fox. We also have additional information on the story online at KRQE.com.
6:36 after several community meetings and surveys, the state's largest school district now has a list of criteria the board will look for in a new superintendent. Now, here are some of those facts. They're looking for people with excellent people skills, a positive image and willingness to listen and add input, experience in implementing educational priorities that fit the needs of students, staff, board, and communities. Also, the experience of enhancing student performances. For the full list, head over to our website, KRQE.com.
We checked this morning and a suspected serial armed robber is still in jail. 28-year-old Gino Garza is accused of holding up 21 gas stations in Albuquerque in just 3 weeks. According to the criminal complaint, Garza would hand the clerks a note demanding cash and imply that he had a gun. At one point, deputies say he robbed 4 gas stations in one day. In some cases, Garza allegedly stole cartons of cigarettes, e-cigs, and cases of lighters. Deputies say Garza also carjacked a woman and stole her SUV.
A Santa Fe boy has quite a story to share with his friends this morning. He joined the Santa Fe Police Department for a day. 13-year-old Jordan Evans is fighting a rare form of cancer. And while going through chemo and radiation treatment, he told his mother that he wanted to be a police officer. So she called the police department, and Jordan reported for duty yesterday. He was sworn in. He drove with a safety instructor through a safety track and examined a backpack for bomb-making materials. We asked Jordan why he wanted to be an officer.
I just want to protect people, so that I know that I won't be able to protect them from going through what I had to go through, but I want to protect them from going through stuff that's maybe worse than this.
Pretty good reason. Jordan is now in remission and expects to go back to school soon. What a fun experience for him.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him.
Well,